Okay, so everybody knows FHA. Again, show of hands, who feels confident in FHA guidelines? All right, about 60%. So we're going to kind of go basics and then get a little bit in detail, and then we'll do some Q&A. So let's just talk about the basics. You know, why FHA exists. I'll hand it off to you.
All right. So basically, FHA is more designed for lower down payments, high DTIs, lower credit scores, or no FICO scores.
Right. And so that's something that's interesting. Some people think you need a credit score for FHA, but you don't.
You don't. However, you need alternative credit, and that entails utility bills, car insurance, cell phone, a VOR. Our VOR has to come from property management, or if it's a private, you require 12 months cancel checks.
Okay, we'll jump to some common misconceptions about VA DTI.
DTI, yes, actually a lot of people believe that you can go up to 45, however you can go 47 or 57, as long as your credit score is at least 640. You don't have a credit score is what you just mentioned in the previous section. If you go, you can go actually below 580 as long as you put 10% down or more. There's some reason to that you can have a non-borrower occupant, which you can.
You can.
Yeah.
Yes. Great. And then, like we did with VA, just some of the procedural differences. We'll start with appraisal ordering, and then
yes. For FHA, you have to generate a case number. If the case number is already generated by another lender or LO, you have to transfer that case number. That sometimes can be a hurdle, because you have to chase it and push it to another LO.
Right. ABC mortgage,
correct.
Had ordered the case number for this borrower on this property.
But they don't comply.
The deal didn't close.
Right.
And now you're doing a deal on another property. You got to get the case number transferred.
Correct. FHA has a product mortgage insurance, which is 1.75, and which can be financed. FHA monthly MIP is 0.55, and that is permanent unless you put 10% down, and then it can be removed after 11 years. Obviously, if the borrower doesn't do the 10%, the benefit of that is that can eventually turn into a possible refinance to a convention. Once you obtain the 20%. Well, you don't have to obtain the 20%, that obviously doesn't go. Sure. That in mind, that's not permission.
Sure, and then similarly that we did with VA, we're going to go just through some of the kind of tips behind the scenes.
Yeah.
We do a lot of FHA, running DO and LP for FHA.
Yes, I just recently learned that you can run actually LP. I was under the impression that you only can do DU or DO. So that was something that was news for me, so I'd like to share that. And then also you can go get manual underwriting if you don't get a AUS approval. No FICO score, that's what we just mentioned. Getting out of MIP is basically the goal for an FHA, because most of the borrowers only put 3.5%. So loan amounts, make sure that if you guys originate in an county that you're not familiar with, I would suggest to research the loan limits of the county. That's pretty much it on that. And then cash out is 80% used to be 85, so that changed to streamline. FHA, you can streamline in FHA, and doesn't require an appraisal. Seller credit, you can go up to 6%, and that only can be used for closing this. For private homes,
yeah. So this is something just came out of the conversation with Luis. The reputation, I guess it's similar to VA in that some realtors and clients maybe have a negative connotation of FHA. Where does that come from?
Well, they believe that it's going to take longer to close, that it's a more complex. You have a strong borrower, and that's not the case. So, to overcome that, it's every time you submit an offer, or if you don't have a report with at least an agent, it's good to communicate via email, text, phone call, introduce yourself, and ensure that the loan will close on time and you have a strong borrower.
So one of my key takeaways in talking with Luis over the past few weeks was FHA has kind of a negative reputation, not so much because of the product itself, but more that many times the originator didn't really understand the product. And so,
damage control that comes when you do not document the loan properly, like any other loan,
right,
and it turns into a nightmare, and they over-condition the loan, and the cost days and things like that. So,
right,
for sure that a lot of FHA programs have a bad reputation due to that. Not to the program, due to the loan officer, inexperienced loan officer, and sometimes underwriters. When you have a complex loan, as long as you know your guidelines, you can pay it and get it through,
Yeah, what would you say is the average closing time for your FHA?
I close FHA in 10 days, 2 weeks, not different than conventional. There's no difference.
Right, and that's why the realtors trust you. Your realtor circle trusts you.
Right.
They've seen, the product, the deal's closed in a couple of weeks, and so your realtors probably think FHA is a great product.
Yeah, some believe that if the property is not in a great condition, it's the other portal. The property is not in the best condition, they believe that it's going to trigger more repairs and stuff like that.
Right.
But in general.
But my takeaway was that if the originator knows the product, knows the guidelines, sets the proper expectations, the deal can close in 14 days.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Do you think ignoring FHA business, kind of like, I don't work with FHA buyers or FHA clients, is potentially you end up losing business and potential realtor relationships?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's how I was able to magnify my business. Targeting and servicing those first-time home buyers, and building a relationship with realtors, and stability as far as my business.
And how has that created stability in terms of referrals?
Actually, realtors refer me to other agents.
Right.
So it just brings.
Right, because you know what you're doing. You study the guidelines, you study with your AEs, you have the accurate information, and the good news. That good news spreads. Of course, on the other hand, with an originator that thinks they know FHA but don't, that bad news spreads. Of course, what they say, twice as fast.
Absolutely
right. Q&A. We are already at our Q&A. The VA session I thought was great. Hopefully we can get some. I know we're losing some steam here. Come on. We need at least one question. Thank you. Where's Jay with our microphone? Will Jay leave the room? Jay. Is Derek in the room? Diane, just shout it out.
On an FHA, you can only have one FHA loan at a time, correct?
Not necessarily. FHA allows you to upgrade, or not upgrade, actually use another FHA if you relocate 100 miles away from the property. And I haven't done it in a while, but I believe you still have to also, on the department residence, you have to have 25% equity. And it has to be 100 miles away from the property.
100 miles away and 25% equity?
from the departing residents.
I'm sure that's something Lori or.
Yeah, maybe confirm. I haven't done one in a while, and it changes all the time, so
Right.
I could be wrong, but yeah.
Does it have to be for a reason, like relocation for work?
Yeah, I mean, it's work, you're correct. You know, and it means since it's an owner occupied, so yes, it'll be a community if you go on back and forth, for sure.
Oh, Atul. Jay, give him the mic over here. You can just shout it out, Atul.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and repeat it.
Just like VA, do you know of any FHA certification?
FHA, how to get FHA certified. I'm sure NAM probably has something
Yeah.
as well. If they have VA, they gotta have some sort of FHA.
Absolutely, yes. And then, just download a booklet, otherwise attend at the seminar. Or, contact your best AE out there that knows the items and ask tons of questions.
Yeah, in fact, until tomorrow, Sierra Pacific is doing an FHA webinar. You'll see that in our weekly update, if I get to bed at a reasonable hour. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, Diane. Jay, oh wait, we've got one right here real quick, Diane. Go ahead.
Right here, thank you. My question is, the FHA loans, are they assumable by,
Assumable. That's a good question. I believe they are. I've just never done one, so honestly, it's better if you just contact me in regards to that question.
VA is, right? VA is
VA is,
assumable.
yeah. And you don't have to give that.
I think VA is the only assumable loan.
Oh, okay.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that one.
Yeah. Joe, Diane had another question in front of here, Jay.
To buy down rate, it was coming out to 6.5%. So
Not
it all depends on the numbers, right? But in some cases, if it works, some lenders I know they do market FHA rate. They don't talk about upfront funding fee. So that's the catch. If somebody is saying that some other lender is offering 6.5 and you are quoting me 7.125 on conventional, more than likely they are talking about FHA and they don't tell clients about all this funding fee and other stuff.
Right.
Just an FYI.
Thank you. That was great. Before we close, I think Diane's got a rebuttal, I think. You guys,
I think this is going to have to be the last one.
The upfront funding fee, isn't that prorated if the client refinances within the first 5 years?
If you're still minded.
They prorated the FHA upfront MIP
Yes, that is
on the
correct.
payoff.
You just have to go into
5
explanations when was, and then, yes.
Correct, so
You
it
can get
wouldn't
part of it.
necessarily be the 1.75 for 5
Oh,
years. It could be
good point.
prorated. We're going to refinance.
You have to use 3 money and, refinance into another FHA, yes, correct.
Or even a conventional on a payoff, isn't it?
No, it's only to an FHA to another FHA, yes.
Didn't know.
Yeah.
see, it was working on it today.
For this factor, yeah.
Good to know.
Thank you for the feedback. I think that's going to be the last question. Luis will be around before we close. Luis, you're in the top 10. C2, you see it in the newsletter. Was your success overnight? And how long did it take to kind of get to that level?
Well, it took years of building relationships again, maintaining those relationships. Most of my realtors, I retain. I don't go after every single realtor out there. I just go the ones that they're consistent in the business. They have loyalty, and that's the key. And those realtors also refer you to another realtors, and that's where you can have instability on your business.
Right. And why do you think the realtors, when you first went out to visit with the realtor at lunch, why do you think they said, I'll give you a shot?
Honestly, it helped me when I made the move to C2. I was at pricing, and then and I was willing to start with that loans that other loan officers had an issue, and I was able to close them. So stuff like that, and taking the chance, you perform.
Right. It's not overnight success. Hard work, took years to build the relationships. Luis, thank you very much. We're going to close it out. We're going to pass things back.